moment that mixed political theatre with culinary symbolism, Russian journalists flying to Alaska for today's high-profile summit between President Vladimir Putin and US President Donald Trump were served chicken Kyiv cutlets aboard their state-chartered aircraft. The unusual detail was revealed by Margarita Simonian, the editor-in-chief of the Kremlin-backed network Russia Today, in a Telegram post that was quickly shared by Russian state media outlets. The dish, chicken Kyiv, holds deep symbolic weight in the context of the ongoing war in Ukraine. Once a staple across the Soviet Union, it has become a culinary emblem of Ukrainian culture and identity, especially since Russia's full-scale invasion in 2022. Igor Piskunov, a reporter for RT who was on the flight, suggested that the meal could be interpreted as a good sign ahead of negotiations, though his tone hinted at the layers of irony that accompanied the choice. For some, the dish may be seen as an olive branch, for others as a provocative gesture timed to coincide with the Alaska talks. The trolling didn't stop there. Upon landing in Anchorage, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov emerged wearing a grey sweatshirt emblazoned with the letters USSR in Cyrillic, a striking sartorial choice harking back to the Soviet era when Ukraine was under Moscow's control. In today's tense geopolitical climate, the imagery is hard to ignore. Pro-Kremlin commentators reacted with visible satisfaction. One of the loudest voices was political analyst Sergei Markov, who wrote on Telegram that the dish was a symbolic jab, suggesting that the Russian army is making chicken Kyiv cutlets out of the Ukrainian armed forces. He went further, quipping that Putin and Trump should make a chicken Kyiv out of Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, a remark clearly designed to provoke. This incident comes against the backdrop of the Alaska summit, a meeting already under intense scrutiny as the war in Ukraine grinds into its fourth year. Both leaders are expected to address security issues, potential territorial agreements, and broader questions of US-Russia relations. For Kyiv, the stakes could not be higher, as Ukrainian officials continue to warn that any deal made without their direct participation could undermine their sovereignty. Diplomatic observers say such gestures, from the menu served in the air to the clothing worn on arrival, are far from accidental. In international politics, every visual and symbolic cue is carefully calculated. In this case, the choice of chicken Kyiv may be aimed at sending a layered message, mocking Ukraine, signaling confidence to domestic audiences, and subtly framing the summit's narrative before it even begins. With the first handshake between Trump and Putin scheduled within hours at Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson in Anchorage, all eyes will now be on the tone set inside the negotiating room, and whether the light-hearted meal served at 30,000 feet was an appetizer to diplomacy, or just another dig in a conflict defined as much by symbolism as by force.